And 13 News at 5 begins with breaking news as the stock market plunges again.
President Trump's tariffs and threats caused a third day of losses today. The numbers today at the closing were no near as bad as we saw last week. So let's take a look right now. What are we talking about? The Dow dropped nearly 350 points today. It was a wild day on Wall Street.
It actually fell more than 1,700 points before gaining a 2,595 in a record reversal. Now, this wild ride on Wall Street was the result of investors reacting to President Trump's new taxes on imported goods.
What's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you our country has gotten a lot stronger.
The president posted online that negotiations will now begin after a weekend of mixed messages from his advisors over whether or not the tariffs are in fact negotiable. President Trump says dozens of countries have called to negotiate lower tariffs.
The president also threatened China with even higher tariffs if the country does not drop its 34% tax on American goods, the counter tariff they put in place. And there's also more uncertainty on Wall Street ahead of more tariffs going into effect Wednesday. So that giant drop in the stock market has many people checking in on their retirement and other investment accounts.
And if you do so, maybe you'd be advised not to, because it really could be a shock to your system. So the question is, what should you be doing about things right now? Allison Gormley joins us live here in studio to tell us what's the deal with how to react. Allison, this is a tough one.
Or not react.
Yeah. Exactly. And we want to acknowledge that looking at your accounts and seeing them dramatically go down in a huge way over a couple hours, it's upsetting, but the name of the game is do not panic, as difficult as that is to say. President Trump enacted tariffs to level the trade field, level the trade playing field in the White House's words. That's causing disruption to the stock market and likely your retirement plan. If you're early in your investing life, it's a long game, and experts encourage you to hang tight. If you're in the mid to late stage in your retirement planning, it's good to regularly revisit your risk tolerance anyway. If you do not have a financial planner, reach out to Human Resources to see if your benefits offer it.
Employee benefit services may contract with people that provide free or minimal cost advice to employees.
Now, real quick, Vanguard we reached out to, and they said that 43% of their accounts offered the service as of 2023, and Fidelity also said they offer assistance. But like anything else, if that is not an option, referrals are always helpful because people like to share good and bad news alike.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, though, what you were saying was that it's easier said than done, right? In not overreacting right now. It's just, but it is very stressful.
It's stressful, but as we said, the name of the game is to not panic, kind of watch it with an arm's length, and it might even be a good time to invest if you want to consider it, because stock prices are obviously low and kind of like a sale.
Yeah, it's time to get a deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Allison, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Allison. And let's get it to Angela. The weather's making a bit more sense after a wet weekend. Hi, Angela.
Oh, it was just so nice to see the sunshine today. We made it into the 50s, but now a cold front is moving through. So we're down from our high of 57 to currently 49 degrees in Indianapolis. We're down to 43 in Lafayette. You are still ahead of the cold front in places like Bedford, Bloomington, Columbus, and still in the mid 50s. But temperatures are going to drop, and over the next several hours, we're going to fall through the 30s, eventually into the 20s. Cold enough, National Weather Service has a good part of our area under a freeze warning. If there are sensitive plants you'd like to protect, bring them inside or at the least cover them up. And then don't forget to remove the cover first thing tomorrow morning. Speaking of first thing tomorrow morning, very cold start. You're going to need that heavy coat through at least midday. High temperatures tomorrow only in the mid 40s. We're getting a break from the rain, and boy, do we need it. Almost 6 inches of rain in the first 6 days of this month, and that is the wettest so far on record. And our rivers are still major as far as flooding from Columbus south to Seymour.
And happening now, Hoosier communities are still dealing with major flooding.
We want to show you some images from Bartholomew County. This is where Columbus is. There's a lot of roads that are in that community that remain closed tonight, including the main artery through town, which is still shut down, all because of high water.
Jenny Runovich shows us the ongoing challenges and the danger for drivers.
In Bartholomew County, rushing water is seemingly everywhere, or at least anywhere anyone needs to go. Flooding cutting a path right through the heart of Columbus, turning dozens of roads into rivers.
Looks just water. As far as you can see, they call it an ocean. That's what everybody's saying. It's like looking at an ocean. That's how much water is just flowing down through there.
From Drone Cam 13, you can really see the damage. State Road 46, the main drag through Columbus, still closed for high water, making for a complicated commute.
We're pretty much an island right now, and the only way into Columbus is US 31 from the north. This morning, if you're out west of town, it's about an hour and a half drive to get into downtown Columbus.
And normally?
Normally, it's probably 15-20 minutes.
It took Tina an extra 40 minutes to get to work. She also drives a school bus, but not today. Flooding forced the district to go to e-learning.
So right now we don't even know if we'll have school tomorrow. It's going to take time to get this back down into the ground.
Believe it or not, the water is receding. That Chevy Tahoe, marooned in the mud, was up to its roof when it got swept away Friday night. A risky decision by the driver that's happened a lot. More than 15 water rescues and counting.
Basically all weekend we've been running on those. People driving through where they shouldn't be.
You don't do it. You're not going to win. You're going to lose every time.
Fortunately, the individual was able to get out of the vehicle and rescue themselves and make it to dry land, but obviously lost their vehicle.
We also watched car after car drive around barricades, a danger police are taking seriously. 30+ tickets handed out for ignoring road closed signs, $175 a pop.
Don't take a chance. If the road's closed, don't drive through it. It's not worth it. It's not worth losing your vehicle, and most definitely it's not worth losing your life for.
Especially since some roads could stay waterlogged for a few more days. In Columbus, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
All right, stunning images down there. The Bartholomew County Sheriff says they hope State Road 46 can reopen for the Tuesday morning commute.
But that will depend on the water, the debris, and any damage that may have impacted the road. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that major artery east and west through Columbus and Bartholomew County as our coverage continues. Now, keep in mind, the further south you go, the more flooding you'll find. So this is some of the high water that we found throughout Jackson County today. Samantha Johnson will take a closer look at the conditions there as our coverage of the flooding continues ahead at 5:30.
And over on WTHR Plus, we take a look at Hoosiers recovering from last week's tornadoes and the flooding. So we have a special for you tonight. It's at 6:30. You can download the app on your TV and stream free of charge. Well, tonight, a 15-year-old boy is under arrest accused of shooting and killing a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old in addition to hurting another person. It happened Sunday night on Indy's near Northwest Side. And we've heard so many stories of our young people involved in violent crimes like this. So tonight, our Karen Campbell joins us to take a deeper look into what the justice looks like for a child who now is accused of taking 2 lives.
It may happen in a matter of seconds. When a teen chooses to commit a violent act, police bring them here to the Juvenile Detention Center or the Marion County Jail.
This is the new reality of a 15-year-old boy in Marion County accused of homicide. IMPD says the shooting happened inside of a home on West 27th Street near North Harding Street Sunday night. But can someone so young grasp the weight of taking a life and the consequences that follow? We asked licensed mental health counselor Vanessa Enos.
One way to think about the adolescent brain is it's like a giant semi-truck without any brakes yet. It's at 25 when those brakes are finally developed. And so they don't have that capacity to put those brakes on before then.
Enos says it's also important to think about what a teen has been exposed to in life.
At this point, it is unclear if that teen will face adult criminal charges. Coming up at 6, I'll share more of what Vanessa Enos explained and what a juvenile court judge says could be the next step in the legal process. Karen Campbell, 13 News.
And two 18-year-olds are under arrest tonight, accused of a double shooting on Indy's near Northeast Side. It happened around 1 o'clock Sunday morning near Roosevelt Avenue and I-70. Metro Police released the pictures you see right here from the scene. An officer in the area heard the shots, which they believed were fired from someone in a Dodge Avenger into another car. Officers tried to stop the driver of the car, but say the driver took off, and then the driver stopped after a chase. Officers then detained that driver and the passenger, who they say tried to run away. Investigators say they also found a gun around the place they detained the passenger and another gun in the car, saying one of these guns was stolen. Police later learned that two gunshot victims who they believe were shot during this incident walked into a local hospital. Doctors have since released one victim and kept the other in the hospital, saying she was stable.
Tonight, we're learning when a man accused of a murder, which led to a Metro Police shooting, is expected to go on trial.
Michael Hendricks made his first appearance in a Marion County courtroom on multiple charges this morning, where a judge set his trial for June. 48-year-old James McGuire died in this shooting at an apartment complex on Indy's east side a little more than a week ago. Well, Hendricks is accused of shooting and killing him, as well as the attempted murder of another man outside the apartment.
A Metro Police officer confronted Hendricks about a half-mile away from the shooting. An officer shot Hendricks after saying the suspect pulled out a gun and pointed at them. Doctors released him from the hospital about a week ago. And at the Indiana State House tonight, a bill which some say would criminalize homelessness is now getting a second chance at life.
The original House bill failed in committee earlier this session. Now it's been added to an unrelated Senate bill, which originally focused on unsafe buildings.
And it passed out of the Judiciary Committee along party lines. The amendment to Senate Bill 197 would charge unhoused people who sleep on public property. They would be charged with a crime. If a person violates the clause, they can be charged with a Class C misdemeanor, which carries a penalty of 60 days in jail or a $500 fine.